When news breaks, we are already there. Welcome to PTV2 Zambia, the channel that never sleeps. From community stories in your backyard to national headlines shaping the country and sports and international updates that keep you ahead, we bring it all to your screen. 24/7 news, fast, reliable, unmatched. Catch us on Topstar, channel 110. Watch live on Facebook, PTV2 Zambia. Prime TV2 Zambia, your window to the nation, your gateway to the world. When news breaks, we are already there. Welcome to PTV2 Zambia, the channel that never sleeps. From community stories in your backyard to national headlines shaping the country and sports and international updates that keep you ahead, we bring it all to your screen. 24/7 news, fast, reliable, unmatched.
What do we stand for? We stand for possibility, for the belief that every tomorrow begins with a choice made today. We stand for growth, for curiosity that pushes boundaries, for knowledge that prepares you not just to adapt, but to lead. We stand for community, for minds that don't just think, but connect, for hands that don't just build, but uplift. We stand for experiences that shape you, for friendships that anchor you, for courage that carries you beyond this place. Here you become more than a student. You become a maker of solutions, a believer in dreams, a contributor to something greater than yourself. This is where purpose meets possibility. This is where futures are built. CHISAMBA University, where you stand for what matters.
You are watching Prime TV2 News. My name is Jessie Kalambo. Keep in mind that you're catching us live on Topstar channel 110, as well as Facebook, which is PTV2 Zambia. Remember to like and follow our Facebook page for more updates. And now the news headlines. 23 suspected illegal immigrants arrested in CHISAMBA, LUSAKA police operation. Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research report finds fuel subsidy removal did not worsen poverty levels. The opposition Patriotic Front, PF, has charged that Zambians are the strongest opposition for the ruling United Party for National Development, UPND, and not political parties. President Hakainde Hichilema is set to address Parliament as stakeholders call for unity, rights, and policy clarity. And now the news in detail. 23 suspected illegal immigrants believed to be Bangladesh nationals have been arrested following a swift and coordinated intra-agency operation conducted by Zambia police in CHISAMBA district and Lusaka. The operation was carried out on February 18th, 2026, around 08 hours along the Chisamba-Chipembe Road in CHISAMBA district. Chilavi says police officers acting on credible intelligence intercepted a grey Isuzu motor vehicle suspected of transporting illegal immigrants.
Police officers pursued and successfully stopped the vehicle, leading to the apprehension of two Zambian drivers identified as Ruben Banda, aged 40, and Shadrach Tembo, aged 20. A search of the vehicle resulted in the apprehension of 13 suspected illegal immigrants believed to be Bangladeshi nationals. In a related development on the same date, around 10 hours, in Kabanana compound, Lusaka, officers intercepted and apprehended 10 additional suspected illegal immigrants believed to be Bangladeshi, bringing the total number of arrests to 23. A Toyota Fortuner motor vehicle believed to have been used in the commission of the offense has been impounded. The driver of the said vehicle fled the scene and is currently at large. All suspects are currently in police custody, and the motor vehicles used in the commission of offenses have been impounded. Investigations are ongoing, and the Department of Immigration has since been engaged for a joint investigation. The Zambia Police Service remains firmly committed to dismantling criminal networks involved in transnational organized crime syndicates, and will continue coordinated enforcement efforts to safeguard national security.
The opposition Patriotic Front, PF, has cautioned the ruling United Party for National Development, UPND, against becoming complacent in the absence of a united opposition, arguing that its strongest challenge comes from the Zambian people. PF Copperbelt Youth Information and Publicity Secretary Humphrey Kabwe says the UPND's real opposition comprises citizens to whom the government made promises of economic recovery and national development. Speaking on Prime TV2's Sunrise Breakfast Show, Mr. Kabwe alleged that the UPND government has introduced laws such as the cybersecurity legislation to suppress citizens from freely expressing themselves. He has further argued that opposition political parties merely serve as a vehicle through which the Zambian people hope to effect change rather at the ballot in the August general elections.
The strongest opposition that the UPND are facing now is the Zambian people whom they promised to improve or whom they promised manna. That is the strongest opposition that they have. And they should not take it rightly. And that is why they are even capable to come up with laws that will stop the people from expressing themselves, like the cybersecurity law. Okay? Because they believe when the Zambian people remind them, when the Zambian people tell them that you told them to reduce the cost of living and you have not done that. You told the people of Chingoa that you will not bring back Vandata, you bring other investors that are going to do things, and they bring back Vandata, and the Zambian people speak up. That is giving them pressure. The opposition as a party is just a vehicle that the Zambian people are looking to, okay? That will help them win the 2026 general election. And the Zambian people, they know that the opposition are there and they know whom they are going to support, and they know on how they are going to remove President Aka in the HLM. And definitely President Aka in the HLM will be removed. The political party opposition today, the only thing that we need now going forward is to remove the selfishness, to ensure that we come together. It's not about individual, but it's the Zambian people that we need to liberate from the UPND mediocre leadership. That is what we need, and it is going to happen very soon. I can assure you that's why even the UPND cannot allow the opposition to hold rallies. That is why even the indoors where you don't even need to get your the so-called police permits, the people are being arrested.
President Hakainde Hichilema is this Friday, February 20th, 2026, expected to address Parliament on the progress made in the application of national values and principles, with various stakeholders expressing high expectations ahead of the address. Executive Director of the Advocate for Democratic Governance Foundation, Gideon Musonda, says he expects the President to place strong emphasis on national unity. Meanwhile, National Action for Quality Education in Zambia NAQUE's Executive Director Aaron Chansa says he expects President Hichilema to clarify when the free education policy will be formalized into law. Favorite Cheesy now reports.
Public attention is staying into Parliament this Friday as President Hakainde Hichilema prepares to outline the country's progress on national values and principles. The National Value Address is expected to signal the country's political and social direction amid growing public interest. Executive Director for Advocate for Democratic Governance Foundation, Gideon Musonda, says he expects the president to place strong emphasis on national unity. Mr. Musonda notes that unity remains critical to the country's stability and development. He observes that political tensions appear to be rising and hopes the president will outline practical measures to foster unity.
So we expect that the president will address himself, to how best, we can unite, even if we have got, divergent, opinions.
Mr. Musonda also urges the president to guide governance institutions, including the Zambia Police and other relevant bodies, to ensure they facilitate the full enjoyment of democratic freedoms.
Because we cannot be said to be a democratic nation when such, freedoms are not fully enjoyed, by the citizens.
From the education sector perspective, Executive Director of the National for Quality Education, Aaron Chansa, says he expects President Hichilema to clarify when the free education policy will be formalized into law.
So we also expect the president to assure the country about his government's commitment towards free education, and also its enactment into law, so that this piece or this declaration that he has made becomes legally binding. We support this because it's progressive, knowing that even after UPND, the other administrations that will come will also be legally binding.
In the agriculture sector, stakeholders want the president to emphasize the importance of hard work and an entrepreneurial mindset in driving national development. National Association for Smallholder Farmers President Professor Frank Kayula says farmers are looking to the head of state for such guidance.
Our hope is that the president will emphasize this. We need integrity. We need hard work, especially amongst the young people. They need to open up their minds and be able to capture these opportunities so that they make money for themselves and do not just wander about in the streets, on the roadside. We need Zambians who are hardworking, and that will change a lot of things in this nation.
Favorite Chisi Prime TV News, Lusaka.
You're still watching Prime TV2. We now take a break, but still to come, the Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research, ZIPA, Michael Zamod Policy Report has revealed that the removal of fuel subsidies has not significantly impacted the poor and vulnerable, as poverty levels have not risen beyond previous estimates. For these and many more other news items, do not go away.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily me, the taste of home.
Prime Mill Meal. Pure, proudly Zambian. The taste of home.
When news breaks, we are already there. Welcome to Prime TV2 Zambia, the channel that never sleeps. From community stories in your backyard to national headlines shaping the country and sports and international updates that keep you ahead, we bring it all to your screen. 24/7 news, fast, reliable, unmatched. Catch us on Topstar, channel 110. Watch live on Facebook, PTV2 Zambia. Prime TV2 Zambia, your window to the nation, your gateway to the world.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. We'll continue with the news. The Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research, ZIPA, Micro-Submod Policy Report has revealed that the removal of fuel subsidies has not significantly impacted the poor and vulnerable, as poverty levels have not risen beyond previous estimates. According to the report, redirecting resources from fuel subsidies to social protection programs such as the Social Cash Transfer and the Cash for Work initiative has helped cushion vulnerable households. Joseph Tamale Banda now reports.
ZIPA has released 2 reports assessing the impact of fuel subsidies on the poor and vulnerable, which also recommends the sustenance of fuel subsidies removal. The other assessment report is on the impact of Cash for Work program, which has helped alleviate extreme poverty at household level.
It is about ensuring reform discussions are grounded in evidence, not conjecture. And it is about enhancing public accountability through policy research and analysis. Ladies and gentlemen,
now the policy rationale for the subsidy removal. So the government needed to restore fiscal sustainability. They also need to reduce the budget deficit, which was above 10% at the time. And bordering over other research that ZIPA has undertaken in the transport sector, we did find out that from the non-motorized transports in LUSAKA, over 65% of people actually walk for their commutes. So you can imagine the subsidy only catered for around 30 to 40% of people, but in there you still have the high class and the middle class who are benefiting from those subsidies. So the targeting was very poor.
The Cash for Work implemented by the Ministry of Local Government has yielded positive results with regards to providing a source of income.
Importantly, we also observe that the program has enhanced the role of local authorities in social protection delivery by leveraging decentralized structures. We have strengthened community-level planning, transparency, and accountability, the involvement of ward development committees and other grassroots structures, which has ensured that the program remains responsive to local priorities. We're also particularly encouraged by the participation of women and young people whose engagement not only supports household welfare, but also enhances inclusive development.
Joseph Tamaribanda, reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
Renowned Kenyan lawyer and Pan-Africanist Professor Patrick Lumumba has welcomed recent remarks by John Dramani Mahama and Hakainde Hichilema on visa-free travel between Ghana and Zambia, but said the initiative does not go far enough. Professor Lumumba has suggested that African countries should adopt a broader policy allowing visa-free entry for all Africans. He has dismissed concerns that visa liberation would trigger uncontrolled migration, stating that movement across borders does not automatically imply economic or social disruption. Professor Lumumba has further argued that Africa's liberation must begin with a shift in mindset, including greater confidence in African systems, languages, and institutions. Favour Chizi has the rest of the story.
Kenyan lawyer and Pan-Africanist Professor Patrick Lumumba has charged that African leadership often meets for show, calling African Union summits gatherings that pass resolutions but deliver little change. Speaking during a public engagement, Professor Lumumba said declarations at high-level summits rarely benefit ordinary citizens. He questioned the continent's commitment to real unity. At the center of his concern is the African Continental Free Trade Area, meant to boost intra-African trade. He argues trade without mobility is a contradiction.
The reason why Africa Continental Free Trade Area must and cannot work is because we have too many tariff barriers. Look even at ECOWAS, which is perhaps the most developed in terms of free movement of peoples. Moving from Togo to Ghana, how many informal roadblocks do you have? In Greg Mills' book, he says that one truck company said that between Mombasa and Kampala, there were 34 roadblocks. Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa, said he needs 34 visas to travel within the continent of Africa. A young boy who is a blogger called Ice Speed came to Africa and was running from capital to capital and ended up being given a citizenship by one African country. We must be serious.
Professor Lumumba says these incidents show deeper structural problems and urged Africa to adopt full visa-free access across the continent.
I was very happy the other day when President John Dramani Mahama and President Hakainde Hichilema said that there is no visas between Ghana and Zambia. But I said, you are not going far enough. Make an announcement that no African coming to Lusaka needs a visa. This idea that people will now just flood Zambia is misguided. Will I just come from Nairobi, Kenya because there's free visa now I'm coming to Zambia to do nothing? No, I've come to Zambia to do something. To deal with cashew nut, to deal with groundnuts. And you regulate. When we say no free visa, we are not saying you don't regulate.
Professor Lumumba is a notable Pan-Africanist and has delivered several speeches about African solutions to African problems. He is in the country for public forum organized by Eden University. Favorite Chisi Prime TV News, Lusaka.
You're still watching Prime TV2 News. Remember, you're catching us live on Top Star channel 110, as well as Facebook, which is PTV2 Zambia. Be sure to like our Facebook page for more updates. It's now time for our African proverb of the day. Let's take a look. And that was our African proverb of the day. You are welcome to send in your proverb in any local language translated into English with the meaning included. You can send them to ptv2@ptv2zambia.com or ptv2zambia@gmail.com. We continue with the rest of the news. 6 community-based entities in Kalabo District, Western Province, have been supported by the Ministry of Tourism with funding from the World Bank, with funds amounting to 3,525,670,000 kwacha to engage in nature-based income-generating activities. Speaking when he handed over the grant checks to the beneficiaries, Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa said the move is part of the government's vision to support community-led tourism in protected areas. Mr. Akapelwa has encouraged the beneficiaries to prudently utilize the resources, emphasizing the importance of improved livelihoods among rural communities. More in the following report.
The World Bank, under the Ministry of Tourism's Green Resilient and Transformational Tourism Development Project, Great TDP, has supported 6 community-based entities in nature-based income-generating activities in the Liwa Game Management Area in Kalabo District, Western Province. Officiating the handover of Window 1 of grant checks worth 3,525,670,000 kwacha, Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa says the empowerment of communities by the Ministry of Tourism is the demonstration of supporting community-led tourism by the government.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, under President Hakainde Hichilema is firmly committed to promoting community-led tourism as a cornerstone of sustainable tourism development. This program is implemented by the Ministry of Tourism with the support of the World Bank, whose technical and financial offer are instrumental in advancing Zambia's sustainable tourism development agenda.
The Permanent Secretary further urged the benefiting communities to utilize the resources wisely in order to motivate the funders to support the next group of beneficiaries.
I urge all beneficiary community-based entities to manage these resources with the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and professionalism. The success of this first funding window will set the benchmark for Window 2 funding.
Kalabo District Commissioner Msangu Njamba says the government is committed to promoting sustainable livelihoods among its people.
The government of the Republic of Zambia is firmly committed to ensuring that Zambia gets the much needed empowerment to help citizens and also to build sustainable livelihood through partnership.
Construction of the airport and major roads in the district.
I'm further delighted with the speed at which the project is unfolding in our district. Today, while some beneficiaries will be receiving matching grants, I wish to report with pride that the Great TDP will also work on key infrastructural projects in the district, such as the Kalabo airstrip and the supplementary roads works in Liwa.
Chief Mundandwe of Mishulondo Chiefdom and the beneficiaries are happy with the project, committing to utilize the resources wisely.
Please convey our gratitude to the Republican President, His Excellency, the President of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for having given us this important project.
Milwa itumela haulu, kautwa mwela limpo, roto fumanaka chenu, milu sepsakuli, mashengi olfiwaka chenu, lukavelekisa hande, sinakamweno lutwe tutela.
For Prime TV News in Kalabo District, Marcus Bransapita.
The Musele Chiefdom in Kalumbila District has launched a business association aimed at ensuring local residents benefit from business opportunities generated by mining activities in the area. Speaking during the launch, Senior Chief Musele Musoko Katamba said government policy directs that 20% of contracts awarded by mining companies should go to local entities, with 10% specifically reserved for businesses from the Musele community. The traditional leader has, however, noted that this directive has not been implemented despite the enactment of statutory instrument number 68, which was intended to empower local participation in the mining value chain. Report by Jackson Mwanza.
The Musele Business Association has been formed to increase local participation in mining-related business in Kalumbila District. Senior Chief Musele Msokantanda said government policy requires 20% of mining contracts to go to local entities, with 10% reserved for the Musele community, but this has not been fully implemented despite statutory instrument number 68. He pledged to monitor compliance.
Even when they are giving out that 20%, you find that they've ended up giving it to companies coming from Copperbelt. These minerals belongs to us. And what government has done is, from the entire 100% that you manage for you to run your businesses, government has only commanded you to offload just a 20%. I was going to be very happy if you were standing on your platform mentioning about the remaining 80% that you have got full control, and then boast about the 20% that you've given local companies. This time I think we are going to ask the government for First Quantum, Barrick and Kansai to list out all the local companies that they've given businesses. We need the nation to know. Because it's like all the engagements have failed.
Small and Medium Enterprise Development Minister Elias Mubanga, represented by Northwestern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Lakson Mulumbi, described the initiative as a key step towards strengthening local enterprise and urged companies to adhere to the local content policy.
We also want not only to appeal but to encourage the industry here in the province that the implementation of the local content SI is serious business. We must ensure that together we can account for how many local companies we've been able to empower in this particular province.
Board member Kennedy Nduna said the association will build capacity among local entrepreneurs to help them secure subcontracts.
Our interest as association to ensure that no one is left out behind. We want to make sure that the local businesses, the local people are capacity built. So if you see the system, it actually has a provision for the new entry, the small ones. Us who are already in the business, we are taking interest in those to capacity build them and make sure that they participate. Ensuring that they comply, they are given the necessary tools. Where need be, we subcontract them, we capacity build them, we work with them.
Jackson Mwansa reporting for Prime Television News in Kalumbila District of Northwestern Province.
And the news on that note, a recap of the top stories. 23 suspected illegal immigrants arrested in CHISAMBA, LUSAKA police operation. Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research report finds fuel subsidy removal did not worsen poverty levels. The opposition Patriotic Front, PF, has charged that Zambians are the strongest opposition for the ruling United Party for National Development, UPND, and not political parties. President Hakainde Hichilema is set to address Parliament as stakeholders call for unity, rights, and policy clarity. Thank you so much for watching the news. This has been Jessie Kalambo. Have a pleasant viewing.